Hello everyone. We here at the Bubb Report wishes the people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique a happy 40th anniversary of political independence. This week's editorial is a reproduction of a Time magazine editorial on Grenada's independence that was published on the 18th of February 1974. It reads as follows, quote, "As it celebrated its independence last week, after 324 years of first French and then British rule, tiny Grenada and its two sister islands were racked by disorder and threatened by civil war. Telephone and electronic service have been out since the beginning of the year, and a general strike has crippled the country's economy. Bananas, one of Grenada's main exports, lie rotting in the fields, and nutmeg and cocoa, the two other principal crops, are piled up in warehouses with no one to load them onto ships. Britain prudently cancelled the scheduled visit of Prince Richard of Gloucester, a representative of the Queen, to the independence ceremonies, and alerted a warship to stand by to evacuate foreigners in case of violence. The United States State Department advised Americans to look for another tourist paradise. Tourism, which used to bring in 130,000 visitors each year, has totally evaporated on the island. The trouble began last November when anti-government demonstrators protesting the one-man rule of Prime Minister Eric Gairy, 51, and an unemployment rate of 50% or more, began marching through the streets of St. George's, the island's capital. Gary's police, a roughneck band derisively called the Mongoose by opponents, retaliated by beating up opposition leaders. Their attacks culminated last month in Bloody Monday, when the Prime Minister's bully boys broke up a protest rally and killed the father of one of Gary's chief critics. Since then, they have been looting shops owned by those who oppose the Prime Minister. In fear, most businessmen have shuttered up their stores. All but two of the island's 25 hotels have closed, and hundreds of Grenadians have fled to other countries to escape the ruthless secret police. Many islanders worried that once Britain let go altogether, Gairy would set up a miniature dictatorship with himself as a pocket Napoleon. There could be massive bloodshed in a few days, warned Maurice Bishop, one of the opposition leaders beaten in the first attacks last year. The population is not prepared to be ruled by any madman, and it is very clear the jackal, as the population now calls him, is simply not prepared to resign. I think he is certifiably mad." The words of the late Prime Minister Maurice Bishop. Gairy contemptuously dismissed his opponents as hot and sweaty, impetuous, and overambitious youngsters fresh from universities who preach bloodshed and are tainted by a bit of communism. In fact, he maintains his opposition is based on what he calls the plantocracy, the big plantation owners who have never forgotten that he was the one who got wage increases for their field hands in the 1950s. The landowners cannot forgive him, he insists, for never having gone to secondary school. And that ends the editorial for the week, a guest editorial by the Time magazine, which covered Grenada's independence back in 1974.